These are some state proofs from my print that's called Peace Between Species. I started out with this very fuzzy line layer of these three little critters cuddling up. It's a lot of work to do the fur, but I felt like it was an important feature of it, so I wanted to work extra hard on that. I went back and I did more fur after the first etch because it didn't feel quite strong enough. I think my etch times were a little short, or my needle wasn't making very good contact. This foreground area is all done with soft ground, so that's a waxier ground that you can roll onto your plate with. It's like hard ground with beeswax in it, and then it becomes very receptive to plant materials and stuff. So you can see I've pressed actual plants in there. In some places I got good tones, in other places it was a little light, so I went back to redo some of that. But all those little textures of nature sure show up just fine. Alright, so this was another layer of soft ground. I added some stuff up in the top here, and I wanted to get some more darks here, which didn't seem quite able to manage, but I did it. And this is with starting to put in some aquatint into the forms of the critters. I felt like it turned out a little bit hard edge, so I went back in and did some scraping and burnishing to soften things, like up in here, and maybe this was softened a little. So at this point in the plate, I'm like, I may have over etched in places, but I'm not worried about it. I'm doing what I call the push-pull of just trying to take some of those edges and refine them by softening them with a scraper or a burnisher. And I felt like I needed some more darks in this area as well. So I think I may have cheated some of that in with some roulette tools. But see if you can see that. That's my upstairs neighbor doing. All right, so then I'm going into color proofing, and it looks like this red is a little too overly red. It sure looks different on the camera than it does on the paper, so you won't know. And then this was the bunny went in there in the Payne's gray instead of a brown, and didn't like that quite so much. Here's the final with the bunny in brown. So that is Peace Between Species.